Hello, everyone. Welcome as you're joining in. Create a comfortable space for yourself. Maybe light a candle, open up sacred space. And I would love to hear some of you in the chat where you are. I would love to invite in, yeah, the land that you are on. Let's call in the land consciousness that you are on. Let's bring that into the space so we can really come together as an international tribe. For those who have joined me before in my other online Zoom classes, I've held many. Um, oh, I hear that you can't hear anything. Is that true for more people? It says that you're connecting to audio, Grisel. Yeah, where was I saying? Yeah, if you've joined me before in one of these online classes before, let me know. I would love to see who has returned and maybe what other class that you joined from me. Every time we do a different thing, a different theme. So would love to hear from you. But yeah, please let me know where you're located in the world right now. I'm in the Netherlands. I'm in Flevoland. Um, I'm not Dutch, but I'm here in the Netherlands, in the beautiful woods, as you can see in the background. Oh, cool. Angela, thank you for coming back. Uh, oh, Saudi Arabia, beautiful. Welcoming that in the space, welcoming Florida, the US in the space, bringing in this international tribe coming back together in oneness. And even though we're all from different lands and different places, I'm a nomad. And what I really discovered on the nomadic journey is that, and having friends and people and lovers all over the world, is that we all want the same things. And in the core, we're all the same. So the culture and the layers, which is the theme today, by the way, we're going to dive into that. Culture, society, and this construction we have tries to divide us and make us all different from each other depending on, the countries and societies that we grew up in. But actually, in the core, we are all the same. We want the same things. Beautiful. We have Finland. My ancestors, I have a huge ancestry in Finland, so welcoming that in the space. Bermuda, beautiful. As we let everybody log on, I'm going to begin talking about today in about 30 seconds. So for all those new people that have just joined, let us know where you are in the world. Would love to hear from you. And also, yesterday was the full moon in Aquarius, but we're in Leo season, and I would love to hear who was having, let's say, some chaos happening, or for me and my partner and some of my clients that were reaching out yesterday, they were experiencing, and me myself, experiencing so much energy, almost too much to bear, and don't know what to do with it. So that was our experience yesterday. So let me know what you were experiencing yesterday and what you're experiencing today. Me and my partner were also experiencing overtly sensitivity. So if you have like Aquarius in your sun, moon, or rising, you probably were also extra affected. So if you're experiencing a lot of sensitivity, you were easily triggered, easily poked, easily agitated. We're in Leo season, so everybody around me and in myself have just been easily agitated the last weeks, but especially yesterday with the full moon. So I would love to hear if anybody resonates with that. Just to, yeah, let go of the shame of our humanness, let go of the shame of being alive and all the discomforts that come with being alive. Like, once we be able to talk about these things, like, yeah, I'm going through some sensitivity, it's such a way more free world, and we can come together as a tribe. So here, this is not just love and light. We allow dark in this space. All of you is welcome in this space. So yeah. All right, we got Ireland. Thank you, Angela, for sharing sensitivity, trying to release past hurt. I hear you on that. That also was a huge part of the moon yesterday and the theme. So Beautiful. We got India. Oh, the India consciousness. Love having that in the field with us. Mama India is a powerful one. And then we got Ireland. We got all the witchy stuff happening in Ireland. Beautiful. Inviting Ireland in the space. Cool. Heba. Cool. Creativity, strength, willing to move forward. Having no tolerance for anything that doesn't align with my full potential. Beautiful. That is very on theme with Aquarius. So let's dive into it. Beautiful. We have Scotland. I love Scotland. Okay. Let's all now sit. Let's begin to drop the energy as I approach this very high energy, but let's begin to ground now. So let's all take a deep breath in through our nose into our belly space. And opening the mouth, giving a sighing sound. Let's drop the energies. Let's inhale. Exhaling, opening the mouth. Inhaling, deep breath in. Beginning to drop the energy now. And every inhale pulling you more and more into the present moment. Pulling you into sacred space. Giving yourself permission to be fully present in the here and now. Every exhale, allowing yourself to surrender to all that is in this moment. Every exhale, gently letting go of whatever is alive in your external reality. And just putting that aside for this next hour. Trusting that it's going to be there when you're done with this ceremony. But allowing yourself to fully be here and now. And surrendering to your inner aliveness. So feeling the belly becoming loose and soft. Dropping the shoulders. Feeling your body becoming heavier on the earth. And let's do an Om together. So we're going to inhale. We're going to do one Om, 1 to 3. Let's see what happens. Just to drop us. We have a lot of fire and a lot of air energy. So doing Om allows us to get more into the earth, get more into our root, and to ground. So inhaling through the nose into the belly. Let's inhale. Let's do another one. And last one, inhale. Just taking this moment of silence for you. Can you give yourself the full permission to devote to yourself just for this hour? Can you make this hour completely about you? No one, nothing matters in this moment except you. So, beautiful ones, you can keep your eyes closed, keep your energy within, or you can also open them, whatever feels like your truth. I'm going to begin to first speak with you about the energies happening right now. And then I will, guide you in a shamanic practice, a little ritual to empower ourselves with the current energy. Okay, so yesterday was the full moon in Aquarius, and we are in Leo season. So, for those who don't really know about astrology, I really use this as a roadmap. How can we empower ourselves with the current energies on the planet? And Aquarius is really the sign of the free thinkers. This is the archetype of the rebel, one who can see beyond the system's conformity, um, is the one who can change societal structures and break them free because Aquarius energy can think outside the box. Now, if you don't have Aquarius in your chart, that doesn't matter because we all have all these different aspects that live and breathe inside of us. And if it's happening in the external world, if it's happening with the moon being in Aquarius, then that means we are all affected to some degree. So how can we use that to empower? So all of us have the ability to see beyond illusion. All of us have the ability to see beyond the matrix, to see beyond the systems that, yeah, maybe are not aligned with our deepest truth. And so that in combination with Leo, so we're in Leo season, and Leo is very much the archetype of the king, the sovereignty, the leader, the warrior. Um, it's very fire energy and it's action based. So, very beautiful energies to put together because we have the rebel who can see differently, who thinks differently, very much inner teenage energy. And then we have the king, the sovereign, who uh, knows how to take the appropriate, most aligned action in our deepest truth based on how we view and see the world. Okay, so we need both. We need both energies because if we just acted only out of the rebel, then we will not be able to fully function in society and be able to be part of society and be assisted and have tribe and have a community, because we would try to ostracize ourselves completely and we would be more lone wolf, or we might also do things out of rebelling that is actually not in our deepest truth. So we might rebel against having the most perfect romantic partner, or we might rebel against having uh, a lot of money because we're so in that rebellious energy that we actually might distance ourselves from things that we actually might desire. So the sovereign part in us is the one who can decipher, okay, I see you're rebelling. Now, how can I create the appropriate action? Like, I see your truth. I see that you maybe have a different perspective on money or a different perspective on relationships. So I hear you. Now, how can I add that into my life to create the life that I truly desire? So both are needed in the space. I'm going to check my notes here. So, a perfect example of an archetype that really can show this rebellion and sovereign self, how they really come together, is Goddess Lilith. So, I'm going to provide like a little bit of story for you. Close your eyes, feel in your body what is happening to your body as you're listening to this story. So goddess Lilith, as the legend goes, she she was actually uh the first woman before Eve. So she's involved in the whole Judaism, Old Testament stuff. And there's like ancient texts that talked about the legend of Lilith. And so Lilith was made whole and complete, um, just like Adam. Okay, so for those who don't know the story of Adam and Eve, um, uh, Adam and Eve were like the first human beings created by Yahweh, by God, by the Christian Jewish God, or the Abrahamic God. And so so Lilith was made whole and complete. Adam was made whole and complete by God. So they're two pillars like this. And in the garden, so they were made in the Garden of Eden. And so they're living in absolute paradise. I mean, there's an abundance of fruit, there's an abundance of beauty and sunshine, and it was gorgeous. It was perfect conditions for a human to live. So, however, Lilith felt that there was something off for her in the Garden of Eden because she was having sex with Adam, but Adam would always want to be on top. So she could never have balance. Adam was always dominating. And God would always listen to Adam and put Adam first. And there was like a huge emphasis on the masculine, and there wasn't a um, appreciation or respect for the feminine. And Lilith very much represents the feminine. And so what happened was Lilith was like, I'm seeing the system here. This isn't really representative for what I want because I'm whole and complete unto myself. I'm a sovereign being. And I don't really like this sex with Adam, how he's always on top and it doesn't feel good for me. And sometimes he actually abuses me. And I don't like that God is always following Adam's word and doesn't really respect what I want. So one day, Lilith says, I'm out of here. This system is not for me. So that was a huge act of rebellion to go against God, to go against Yahweh, that Christian God, say, I'm not in for this. This isn't for me. I'm going to seek something better for myself. So she knew that in her deepest truth and in her rebellion, or in her deepest truth, that this system was not for her. She wanted something better. She wanted to be treated equal because she was equal. And so what she does is she leaves the Garden of Eden. That's a huge act of rebellion. She leaves the Garden of Eden and she sets off for her own story. And so along the journey, she then um, finds the beautiful Samuel, who is an angel of the underworld, let's say, or maybe even the king of the underworld. And so she finds Samuel, and here is a man that actually sees her, who has sex with her in the way that she wants to have sex, who can hold her, who can hold all of her wild feminine, who worships her and all that she is. Here's a man who respects her. And she's like, yeah, this is what I want. And then eventually she goes into the underworld and she finds her place. And that's where she belongs. That's in her deepest truth, is in the underworld. And in the underworld, Lilith, I love working with this goddess because what she does is all the energies that are rejected by God. Okay, we're just in story, we're just in legend, we're just in archetypal energies. But all the spirits and souls that say that sin and God does not accept them, she takes them in the underworld and she loves them. She's like, I'm gonna love you even though you did X, Y, and Z that were judged in God's eyes. I do not judge you. I love you because you're whole and complete. And you are beautiful, and you are absolutely divine. And that is where Lilith found her purpose. And so, what she does and how she helps the world is by helping all of us see the aspects in ourselves that we cannot see, and then she helps us love them. Because we, as beautiful human beings, we have all the dark and light in us. And on this planet, as we see in our external reality, we have all the dark and light. So Lilith, who also can represent a huge aspect of the mother of the divine feminine, helps us love and find compassion for the parts in us that are really hard to love and find compassion. So, what a beautiful story about coming home to self and rebelling against the system to find a truth, to find her deepest alignment, to find her purpose, her dharma. How fucking powerful is that? So let's all take a deep breath in through our nose, feeling it into our belly. Oh, and exhaling, opening the mouth, anchoring that in our body. So today we're going to meet our rebel archetype that is rooted in our sovereign self. Okay, so what aspects in us and our deepest truth is not aligned with what we're playing out in reality, and how can we tap into our sovereign self to actually create the aligned action to create changes in our life so that we can follow our deepest truth, so we can follow our purpose in this life. So, what do you dare to think differently about? And what actions do you dare to take with that? So let me give you some like modern world 3D examples. I'm not asking you to leave the Garden of Eden, okay? So what are some actual examples that are applicable in our life today? So something this could look like maybe you have a 9 to 5 job and you're working for some corporation. And maybe you feel some sort of resentment or bitterness or burnt outness or something very negatively charged in your being every time you go to work or very often. Well, maybe there is a rebel in you that's speaking out and saying, this isn't aligned for me. This isn't what I want. But the conditioning from society, from culture, from expectations is saying, but I have to do this. I have to do this job so that I can make the money so that I can survive. A lot of people resonate with that. So you're showing up with this job out of, I have to do this to survive, rather than I'm doing this because it makes me thrive. Okay? Two total different approaches, two total different energies. One gives you life force and the other takes away life force. So meeting our inner rebel, okay, could say, this shit is not my truth. I don't like this corporation. I don't like this job. I don't like working 9 to 5. And then taking the rebel to mix it with the sovereign self. The sovereign self can then see that and say, I hear you, but we also have to pay bills. We also have 3D stuff to attain. I have a family to take care of. So, what actual actions can I take? Can I listen to the rebel? Can I actually honor the rebel and take ownership? And then, what are the appropriate actions to blossom my truth in this system that I'm in? And how can I change from the inside and let that blossom and move out? So that you don't actually have to do something drastic like leave the Garden of Eden, but how can you actually change the garden that you are in? So that is what we're going to work with. Another example is maybe you're in a monogamous relationship and you have this feeling that maybe monogamy is not for you. Or maybe you're in a polyamorous relationship and you realize sacred monogamy is actually for me. I actually want to be with one person, but I'm not honoring myself because I'm being with many. Okay, so or maybe you are with one person, you're in a marriage, and but you actually do desire to have sexual connections or romantic connections with other people. Maybe you're a woman and you're with a man, and maybe you desire sometimes to explore with other women. Maybe that is something that's deeply in your truth. So in this next hour, I really invite you to come into the space without judgment, just to see yourself and to not lie to yourself. We have so many aspects in our being that have that deserve that deserve our, at least our awareness. Doesn't mean we act on it. Maybe you're in a marriage, a monogamous marriage, and you realize, oh, maybe I want to explore with women sometimes, but maybe your partner is not okay with that. So then, okay, I choose my marriage, I choose my relationship, and that's totally okay. We don't have to act on everything, but we at least deserve to hear our rebel out. We deserve to hear our truth. We deserve to see ourselves and actually take the moment for that. Let me see if there's anything else. It can also be, it doesn't have to be like big things like job and relationship. It also can be like the way that I have sex with my partner is not the way I want to have sex. Maybe I want to be more dominant, or maybe I want to try more kinky things, or maybe I want more slower and softer sex. Or it can be the way I show up, I always act very kind and very contained, and I'm always like having a smile all the time, and I'm so sick of it. I don't want to have to fucking be kind all the time. I just want to be honest. Maybe if I'm feeling emotional, I don't want to have to show up in my friendships and act like everything's okay when it's not. So it can be very smaller things like that. It doesn't have to be, the big life stuff like relationships and job. So yeah, whatever you discover doesn't mean you have to drastically change your life, okay? It's again, you listen to your rebel, but you're not letting your rebel be the master. Your sovereign self is always the master and will always determine your actions forward. All right, that was a lot of words. That was a lot of talking. But I hope that started to poke and got you thinking. So, as we're gonna move into a little bit of a shamanic journey to do some self-awareness. I'm gonna take you in to meet the rebel and the sovereign self, and so that you can discover, yeah, what patterns are playing out in your life and what actually is in your deeper truth. So I invite you to get comfortable. Let's begin to, yeah, sit on the floor, get really comfortable, and let's begin to now take all these words. Let's drop it into the body. Yeah, okay. So, getting comfortable now. Let's begin to close our eyes. Let's just take some deep breaths to anchor in all those words. Maybe you've been a little bit triggered by some of these words. That's totally welcome. That means I'm doing my job right. So just inhaling through the nose, into the belly. Let's soften the body again. And as you are breathing and slowing down, just notice initially from the words that I have shared, notice what has come alive in you. What has sparked? Let the mind in this moment, before I drop you fully in your body in the journey, let the mind have its moment. Out of the billions and trillions of thoughts you could have, you are having this exact thought right now. And whatever thought you are having in this moment, even if you're trying to escape or leave the conversation, this is the exact perfect thought. It may not be directly obvious to you, but read between the lines. What has sparked in you? What has been activated just through my words, just through the story I share? Now, wherever your mind is, wherever your thoughts have gone, on your next inhale, I want you to take all that scattering energy and I want you to breathe in and focus on the center of your forehead. And breathe in all those thoughts, all those words. And inhaling right into the center of your forehead. This is your third eye chakra, the chakra that can see the unseen. And breathing it in and saying the words to yourself. I am here. I am here. So coming back to your center, I am here. Now dropping your awareness down into your heart center. Become so hyper-focused on the center of your heart. Allowing every breath to go right in to the center. Taking notice, what is currently alive, what are you currently feeling? And whatever it is that you're feeling, do not judge it. Do not question it. Let it be there and trust that it will come and go like the waves of an ocean. That what you feel is only temporary. So can you love what you feel? And now, on your next breath, you're going to envision that all the energy is going to go right into the center of your heart. So inhaling all of your outward energy, going right into your inner heart, into the center. You can say the words, I am here. I am here. I am here. And now dropping down to the belly, going above the belly button and below the heart to the upper belly. This is your solar plexus. This is your power center. This is where we're going to journey in. This is the center of your truth. So feeling what's currently alive, maybe you feel some burning sensations, some fire. Maybe you feel numb, you feel nothing at all. All is welcome. Maybe you feel some contractions or expansions. It does not matter. Can you be without trying to change it, without trying to do anything? Bringing your breath there fully. Can you give yourself permission to fully devote to this area in your body? In this moment, nothing else matters. Become so hyper-focused right there in your power center. Now taking a deep breath in. I am here. I am here. I am willing to meet my truth. I call in my truth. And allowing every breath to bring in more energy, more stimulation into the solar plexus, into the power center. And if you can't feel it, go ahead and tap this area in your body just to wake it up. You can tap it with the tips of your fingers and allow it to become bigger and bigger and bigger. And allow it to become so big until it transports you. Until it transports you into the desert. So begin to feel that you're entering a desert portal. You can feel the warm sun on your back. You can feel the warm sand, the hot, fiery sand underneath your feet. Begin to walk around this desert, feeling the warm sand going between your toes. On every step, feeling the warm sun kissing your face and your back and your arms. And when you inhale through your nose, you smell the dryness of the air. You smell the heat that's radiating off the rocks and the sand. You smell the sand that has been baking in the sun. And you can hear the gentle wind that's brushing the sand. You can hear the silence. And so you begin to walk. Begin to walk down. Let's say you're walking down a hill. A sand dune. Feeling your feet going so deep in the sand on every step. Seeing all the sand that's falling beside you, trickling down this dune. And at the bottom of this dune, there is your rebel self. It may show up like your teenager self. It may show up dark. It may show up eccentric. It doesn't matter how your rebel self wants to look. But take this moment to observe. What does your rebel self wear? Does your rebel self even look like you, or is it someone completely different? Just take a moment and say hello. Your rebel self is so excited that you're here because it has been longing to share with you all that it wants to share. It wants a moment to complain, to speak and say whatever he, she, they wants. And they may sound like a total teenager. They may not sound logical. But take this moment to fully observe and listen to your inner teenager or your inner rebel without judgment. honor their truth. This is just about listening and observing and seeing their expression rather than taking anything too literal or trying to find solutions. So now calling in your rebel to begin to speak to you, to tell you what it fucking hates, what it wants to complain about, what it does not like in the life that you live. Take this moment now. Listen to your rebel. Do not lie to yourself. Let the rebel speak. Give yourself full permission now. Some of these words might be confronting, but let them come through without judgment. Now is not the time for logic. Now is not the time to try to make excuses or tell the rebel that they think wrong or make excuses. Let the words come up without judgment. Be the observer. Become so radically honest with this aspect in yourself. And now taking a moment to notice what those sharings have done to you. Are you already trying to make excuses for what they shared because things must be this way? And notice if you're wanting to make excuses. I have to provide for the family, or this is how a traditional relationship is, or whatever else. Take a moment and question, just question, is this in my deepest belief and truth? Is this what I really want, or is this something that society has imposed on me? Is this something that my family that I was raised in, or the culture that I was raised in, has told me I should think and believe? See how you try to dim your rebel. And the rebel is the one who just wants to put you into alignment. So can you open your heart to your inner rebel? find the compassion that your rebel just wants you to live your purpose, just wants you to love your life, and to live in the most aligned way possible. So take this moment to give your rebel a hug and say thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your truth. And the rebel says back to you, thank you for finally listening to me. And feel maybe your heart opens a little bit. Maybe you feel a little bit deeper of love. Now you take your rebel by the hand and you continue to walk. Begin to walk in the desert again, feeling the feet going and moving with the sand, feeling the warmth, feeling the dryness of the air through every inhale. And in the distance, you see that there is this massive royal castle in the middle of the desert. So you and your rebel begin to enter the castle. It's so grand and royal and beautiful. And now, towards the center and the end of the castle, you see sitting there your sovereign self. And it may look like a future version of you 10, 15, 20 years from now. It may look like you now with a robe and a crown. Doesn't matter. Whatever your sovereign self looks like, whatever your royal self looks like, the most adult version of you who knows what's absolutely best for you and who keeps all the wisdom of your rebel, your teenager, and your child, and all the qualities of you. This sovereign self knows what's best because it knows your truth. You can go ahead and maybe bow or pray to your sovereign self. And your sovereign self looks at you. And with their eyes, you can see that they are proud that you have come today into their castle. They have been waiting for you to come. So now, with all the information you have heard from your rebel self, begin to ask your sovereign self for advice, for some solutions based on what the rebel has shared. And check if the rebel and what the rebel has said is aligned with your deepest truth. Now is the moment to let your sovereign self speak. What is the actions that you can take based on this new knowledge that has come to the surface? What can you do? Listen to the advice of your sovereign self. Just let it come through. Do not question. You can process it later. It may not always be so practical. It might still be very esoteric. But just trust what comes through now. Now, saying thank you to your sovereign self for the advice. And your sovereign self says, darling, you can come anytime you need advice. I am always here. And I want you to take notice, now your sovereign self begins to get off of the pedestal, the chair, or whatever your sovereign self is sitting in, the throne. And your sovereign self gives your rebel self a gift. It could be a symbol. And this gift is activating more sovereignty in your rebel self. So just notice this exchange between your rebel self and your sovereign self. And your rebel self also gives your sovereign self a gift. Maybe it's a book full of all the free thinking, all the ways in which your rebel self looks at the world differently. And gives that wisdom to your sovereign self. So notice this exchange that happens between these two archetypes in you. And now both of these archetypes begin to face you, face your body. And they both place a hand on your solar plexus, on your power center, below your heart, above your belly button. They both place a hand there and feel the power of the wisdom of the rebel and feel the power of the wisdom of your sovereign self. Anchoring that in with your breath. Feeling yourself receive the activations from these two archetypes. Now, saying thank you to your rebel and sovereign self. Knowing that you can always come back and speak with them whenever you need. And slowly saying goodbye and walking out of the castle, back into the desert. Walking back up the dune, the sand dune, going to the top of the dune. And transporting back into your body, back into the here and now, feeling the earth beneath you, carrying you, feeling your breath, feeling your body and what has come alive in all this awareness. Coming back. Coming back to your whole and complete self. Not staying too much in one or the other archetype. Just coming back to you. Begin to rub your hands together, bringing them over the eyes, feeling the tingles in your hand, feeling the heat of your hands going to your eyes. Beginning to flutter the eyes open and slowly letting the hands come back to meet me. Hello, welcome back. I am so curious how that went for you all. This was a little bit of a tricky one, so I would love to hear how this was for you. When you share about your process and your story, you really help everyone else make their own reflections. So I invite you now, if you would like to share in the chat, but also if you have like your phone on hand or your journal, you can also write down any insights that have come through. I know some of you are going to now drop off. I'm going to open the space now for sharing. You can share either on the video, you can also share in the group chat, and we're gonna talk about the sharings. I can also help answer some questions and things like this. So I know that some of you are gonna drop off. So before we get into the sharing, I'm just gonna give some information about me and my work and where you can find me. I totally forgot to do this in the beginning. My name is Maya, and I'm a shamanic practitioner. And what I do is a lot more and deeper than this. This is like the basic stuff that I do. But really, I'm here to help bring people deeper into their bodies, deeper into their truth, to become empowered, and to be their own healers, their own teachers, their own gurus, so that they can live the life that they want, that they dream of. I'm here to bring people back into connection with the earth, to feel safer in the body, and to reclaim all that they are. I create safer containers for people to express maybe the taboo aspects of self so that they can take ownership and they can really be free. Um, I do in-person ceremonies in which I travel all over the world. I'm holding ceremonies in Amsterdam until mid-September, and then maybe also in October, and then I'll be heading to Bali and Copenhagen in Asia. Also do ceremonies in America, all over the world. People also organize me to go and hold ceremonies wherever they are. I hold one-on-one shamanic coaching online. This is my powerful rituals. I take you for 2 hours in a personalized journey where we meet your aliveness. This is like the most effective and best way to work with me. I also have online workshops, online courses for many different topics. So you can find me on my website. I will put it here. And then you can also find me on my Instagram, but I am shadow banned, so you have to kind of search for me. You can find my Instagram through my website if that is easier. So that is how you find me. And yeah, I would love to get some of you to DM me and let me know how this session went for you. I would love your feedback and to be connected. And also, some of you went through and had some actually really powerful insights just now. And with that, you don't walk alone, okay? So if you have any questions, anything at all, reach out to me. Let's be with tribe. You don't have to do all this deep work on your own, okay? I did that for many years of my life, so this is why I do the work I do and bring people together, because I know what it's like to go through the dark alone. And I don't want that for you. You don't have to do that. So you have me, we have each other. All right, let's get into some sharings, into some questions. I would love to help out where I can. All right, so Mani Deepa, I hope I say your name right. You said this was amazing, liberating. Yes, it felt like the archetypes accepted each other. This is really cool because actually, we have so many different aspects in ourselves, and they often sometimes can feel very conflicting. But all these parts in ourselves, they actually want to co-create. They want to get along. And once we allow these different parts of ourselves to become friends, become lovers, to have sacred union, uh, then we can actually create a better life for ourselves. I'm going to give you a good example. Yesterday, I did this practice where my inner, I'm going to use this word and it might be too much for some of you to hear, but my inner Satan, okay, like we have inner God and my truth, we also have inner Satan. My inner Satan and my little innocent little girl, they had a moment of coming together and it was so powerful and beautiful. So I love, Manideepa, that you share this about that these two archetypes came together because that is how we become whole and complete. That is the sacred union of the dark and the light. And that is like the yin yang symbol for some of you who don't know this yin yang symbol, how there's a little bit of light in the dark and a little bit of dark in the light. And this is what I center all my teachings around. I'm here to also represent the dark and bring love back into the dark. I'm not here just for the light. Okay. Angela, your higher self gave your rebel a beautiful peace sign necklace to wear that glows with love. That is really, really fun. I love that. Oh, wow. And your rebel gave a book of pain and hurt she was holding onto for too long. That is full body chills. Wow, wow. And thank you for sharing that because I think all of us can tap into that medicine that you received because now my higher self also just gave my rebel this sign, and my rebel also just gave my higher self this book too. When you shared that, that also activated in me. So thank you for sharing that. I think that's really powerful, and I'm excited to hear how maybe some of the shifts happen in your reality because of that. And now your sovereign self, your higher self, can actually take with more wisdom this pain and now know how to create action in your life. So I really recommend you going back and meditating on that, journaling that, and seeing how you can really work with that. Beautiful, Hiba. You immediately imagine your higher self from the beginning. Great. Keep working with your higher self. So beautiful. Esther, I really hope I'm saying all these names correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not. Um, you feel that your higher self also contains the rebel and needs this part and a lot to have power to protect, keep the peace, and stay in her power. Absolutely. So I separated these different archetypes so that you can see them clearly and you can give them both a voice, but they're all part of each other because it all lives within us. So absolutely, you're really on the right track with that about feeling that actually this energy of the rebel helps the sovereign self create the action. You need the passion of the rebel who can see beyond in the unseen world and actually see beyond the system. And that helps the sovereign self make the correct and most aligned actions for you. So that's why we bring them together. So a wonderful sharing. Okay. May, does the cycle affect the whole process? I felt the connection, but then got interfered, distracted with my own thought. But again, higher self may give my teenager some kind of letter that I cannot read. Okay. I would love to know a little bit more information about does the cycle affect the whole process? What do you mean by that, May? I would love to know a little more information. And I'm also curious, look into what distractions came out of all the billions, trillions of thoughts you could have, you had that. So was your inner rebel could show up as I'm trying to escape this. I'm trying to distract myself from this. So see what the distraction actually was. What thoughts were in your distraction? What came? Maybe that thought has some key advice of what you got distracted with is exactly what you need to be looking at. And maybe your rebel needs to go into that distraction and see there's something in this that want to see beyond, and I want my sovereign self to do its work to create different action with. So that's where you can't read the line. You have to read in between the line. So that's where it's a little bit confusing, but you have to go a little bit deeper. Does that make sense, May? I would like to know. My bleeding cycle came on full moon. Beautiful. So you're asking if your menstruation cycle affect the whole process. I still don't find a lot of clarity on what exactly you're seeking. So let me feel in if there's anything that's coming alive with that quite vague question. Hmm. Well, um, with menstruation, we are releasing. This is a moment of releasing, and this is also a moment of going within. So maybe there is a certain pattern or belief that you might be releasing, and if you got interfered or distracted with something in your own thought, maybe that's something that could be related, and that there's a whole process that your womb is trying to release with that. I don't know if that sparks anything. Let me know if that does. All right. Does anybody else have anything they would like to say? I would love for you all right now to get on Instagram, find me on there. Let me actually get you my link because uh, my thing is shadow banned, so it's sometimes hard to find me because I'm a rebel myself and I go against the system, and what I teach is taboo. So Meta and the Instagram owners and Facebook owners, they don't like me, so they try to shadow ban me and shut me down from reaching out to all of you. But I am finding my ways. So you can find me there. I would love for you all to go in and send me a message. Let me know how this went for you. Would love to hear from you. Would love a DM. Let's connect. And yeah, you can let me know if you have any other questions. And I send you all so much blessing, so much love. Thank you so much for devoting to yourself in this last hour. When you do the work, you don't only heal yourself, you also heal me, you heal your brothers and sisters, they sirs, and you heal the collective. So thank you for doing the deep work. I'm super appreciative. And yeah, let me know if you want more depth and you want to do a one-on-one. Let me know if you're interested and I can give you more information. So send me a DM or you can send me an email through my website. All right, much love to you all. See you next time. Mwah.